Hello, love angels. Happy Testimony Tuesday. Welcome back to For God's Glory, my Sister Loc vlog hair journey. It's like both because you guys are going to hear, the Sister Loc portion and, topics like today of just how I got to the point that I'm at with my hair. And this conversation is stemming from a conversation I just had from a friend of mine. We were talking about hair, and it was honestly a conversation that organically happened. We were talking about something completely different. Got on hair, she was complimenting my locks, and I started kind of sharing, how I got to this place, why I decided to do Sister Locs, and just how I felt about my hair. And in doing that, she said, what you're sharing is really something that needs to be shared with the world. Because it really spoke to her. It spoke to the little girl in her and to the adult version of her. So I said, okay. And you guys already know I'm doing these vlogs with you, but I want to do this special segment, and I'm just letting the Lord lead me in this. But I know I kind of give you a little bit of snippets with, when I started the locks and how I got to that decision, but to kind of go back to where it all began. So just bear with me. We're just going to have a nice conversation. I'm just literally, this is not planned. This was not like an episode. I'm like, ooh, I want to talk about it. This is Holy Spirit. Thank you. And to my friend, who I won't say her name because I don't know if she wants me to share her name, but yeah. So from the beginning, shout outs to my 90s babies. Well, I'm an 80s. I was born in the 80s, but 90s is, what I remember, the decade I remember back then. And raise your hand or comment below if you was a PCJ girl. And just for me, definitely in the 90s, that was the time when perms were prevalent. And, there was just a point in time where your hair was supposed to be straight and natural textured hair and curls weren't embraced like they are today. And that's why I'm so thankful for where we are, just seeing the world just embrace their natural hair, their natural curls, their textures, their coils. It's beautiful. So I did Mizani perm. Yeah, there's been a lot of things that's been done with my hair. So when I was really, really young, my mom knows, and my family, I always talk about this. My mom used to do my hair in this style that she thought was cute. And maybe it was to her and at that time. But of course, looking back, I'm like, what was that? I called them broccoli puffs. It was like a rubber band, and then it was like a puff on top of my head. But I had really thick curly hair, and as I grew up, I don't remember all the different stages of my hair journey, but I remember when I got my perm, I think I was like 7. And I remember in the 5th grade having Mizani, and my hair was just silky and long. And, there were a lot of things that happened growing up, and it caused some of my hair to fall out. And when I tell you my hair was long, my hair would be like, if I had a ponytail in, the pony would come down here. Yeah. And then there was a time I went to a Dominican salon. They're like, mommy, you need trim. And they cut. And I will not lie to you guys. That was probably, my hair hasn't really grown past that point. So my hair for the longest was always around this length, high school. And there was a point where I was wearing in between tracks. There was just a point in my life where, and I think some can relate, where, I wanted longer hair. Like longer hair made you feel more beautiful. Even as a kid, transparent moment, I used to walk around with pants on my head, like swinging it because I wanted long hair. Like at the time, one of my best friends had. So it's been a lot of self-love that had to take place over the years to get to this, the fact that I could sit here right now, talk with you with short hair and actually absolutely love it and embrace it. But it took time getting here. And that was what she was telling me, needs to be shared. So I'm just sharing my story and what's helped me. And I pray that my story helps you. Okay, so there was a point, I remember 5th grade, my hair was super long. All my friends used to say it was pretty and blah, blah, blah. And I remember there was a point, family things going on, and my hair came out. I don't remember how, but all I know is, remember the hair was all long. One day my hair was like this length. And they were like, what happened to your hair? This is how in denial I was. I was like, it's still there. It's just tucked in. Like it was curled and it was just bumped really tight. Yeah. that is complete denial. Like my hair was around this length, but it was tucked in. And I remember not feeling beautiful anymore because my hair wasn't long. And I also had other self-esteem things that were going on with me. My weight, my value, my worth. You know, I didn't know God's worth back then. It was planted, the seed was there, but I didn't, I just wasn't in that place. I was more about what everyone else thought and what was beautiful to the world, and not realizing that how God made me, you know, was beautiful to God. And that's what matters. But again, it took me some time to get here. But over the years, I've worn in between tracks. So my hair crush. Well, I love this woman, just who she is. Tracy Ellis Ross has beautiful curly hair, and I wanted her hair. Instead of just wanting or just training my hair to be the healthiest it can be and nourishing my hair with love, I wanted that. It's like I wanted what someone else had instead of appreciating what God gave me. And I've learned over the years that when we do that, we're slapping God in the face. If you think about it, it's like, oh, so I didn't create you beautiful. You have to go and try and alter yourself to look like this one. I knew what I did when I created you. You are uniquely, wonderfully, beautifully made, you know, but I wasn't in that place back then. So what did I do? I wore braids, and you guys who've been following me, you've seen all of these hairstyles. And these styles made me feel pretty because that's what society saw as pretty. And I'm so thankful to God that he instilled in me early that something wasn't right with that. The point where I would put hair on my head, take it out, and I would look at myself and feel ugly. And God did not make me ugly, but I felt that, you know, because I was so involved in the world. And that's why I say to this day, I live in this world, but I'm not of this world. And not focusing on everyone else's opinions, focusing on God. And, you know, a scripture that I really hold dear to my heart is John 5:41. Your approval means nothing to me. And I say that with love. But your approval means nothing to me, only God's approval. But it took me time to get here. And that's why I wanted to share some of the things that helped me for someone out there who might be in the same situation, or you might know of someone in the same situation. So yeah, I used to put fake hair in. And then I got to a point where I said, if you meet a man, Shamika, or your husband, and you have all this hair and you take it out, is he gonna still love you for you, or is he gonna love you for your hair? And there have been guys that I've dated that I think they might have liked me more because my hair was longer. So I reached a point, I cut my hair and I was like, I want a man to love me for me and not my hair. And I remember cutting it off. And I was in that place where I was like, yep. And if they don't like me, then that means they don't like the real me, the me God created me to be. So I'm thankful that I got into that place rather early. And also what was hard was when my hair was, when I was doing all those crochet hairstyles, I was heavier as well. So to wear my hair short and I was already insecure about my weight, that didn't work. So that was another reason why I think I held on to the hair, because it just made me feel prettier. But I won't forget, I did the big chop in 2011. And I remember at the time, this job that I worked at, the kids were like, you look like a man. And it's something about kids' words that will stick to you. An adult could say something, but that kid will say something. And I went back to that insecure girl and I felt ugly. So what did I do? As soon as my hair started to get some length, I brushed it in a ponytail. I put fake hair back in. I used to do these treatments, keratin treatments, to loosen my curls. And I was always just trying to alter my hair, you know, color. And I do love color. Like you guys saw me in that honey blonde, honey brown. I do love color. We'll get to that. But I was just doing so much to my hair. And I was like, Shamika, you have to learn to love you and you have to learn to love who God created you to be. You have to learn to love what God gave you, your hair. Stop trying to have this person's hair and that person's hair. If he wanted you to have their hair, he would have gave it to you. So again, I'm thankful. I don't even know when that shift happened, but I just remember being in a place where I said, I'm not, and I made this vow to myself. I was like, I'm not putting fake hair in my head anymore. Unless it was something that's growing naturally that God gave me, it's not coming on my head. And I stuck with that. I was even doing lashes at the time. And I was like, no more. And at times it was challenging because I was used to doing crochets. I was used to doing braids. But as soon as one thing I've learned is practice makes growth. Not perfect, but growth. And once I slowly started doing those things, I started to see the beauty in me that God created and embrace my beauty, embrace my short hair, embrace my texture, and love on my hair and texture. And I was doing it for years. And then recently, you guys might remember I had braids, and it was hard doing that because the other thing is, before I go on, we have the right to change our mind. Don't place limits on yourself. That's something that I've had to learn. Oh, please. I would sometimes say, I'm never going to do this. Like, don't use that word never. And I told myself I would never put fake hair in my head. I will never do this. And even my cousin, she got married and she kind of had a vision of how she wanted certain hairstyles to be. And I was very adamant, like, I do not, I made this promise, this vow, I don't want to add fake hair to my head. And, thank God that she cared more about me being in it than my hairstyle. And she worked with me so that I can keep my promises. She knew that I was going with what I promised, the vow I made to myself and to God. And she honored that. And I'm still truly, truly thankful. And then right after, maybe a couple months later, I was thinking about getting the braids. I'm like, you just told her you weren't going to do it. You told the world I'm not putting anything in my head. And I said, well, you're in a different place now. And that's what, talking with my God sister, and also God just like revealed to me, like, you've done the work. You love your hair. You've embraced who you are. So if you get braids, it's now not a matter of you getting braids so you can feel prettier or your hair could be longer. You're doing it because you just want to switch up. You want a protective style, and that's okay. So I had to really forgive myself because I was feeling so guilty. Like, oh my God, I said I would never do this again. And you want to know what's crazy? After I had the braids in, I couldn't wait to take them out. That was growth, because before I could hold on to hair because it's like, oh, it's so long, and people, and the other thing is the compliments. I would get a lot of compliments when my hair was long, but if my hair was shorter, sometimes I wouldn't get those. And I would say, okay, am I ugly? Like, these are the questions that I would have. And I don't know if anyone out there can relate. So I got the braids, but then I took them out. And with the Sister Locs, like I mentioned to you guys, last week, I was always wanting to do it, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it. And over the years, I've done, again, so many different styles, so many different colors. The puff, you guys might remember the puff. As much as you guys love that puff, I could not stand that puff. I did that puff because I didn't know what else to do with my hair. There were so many times I was in that mirror and I didn't like how my hair looked, but I made this promise to myself that I wouldn't add hair to it. And again, I wanted to do Sister Locs, but at the time it felt so permanent, or I just wasn't sure. So sorry, there's so many different things to talk about. I'm like in my mind, like, where do I go next? And then what ended up happening, I don't know if I shared this last week, was I moved, or last episode, because I don't know when these, I'll be honest, I'm taping this, but I don't know when this is going to air, whenever God leads. But I moved to Georgia and I noticed my hair was getting really dry. And I was doing all the same stuff. It didn't hit me until later. I was talking to someone who moved out here and they had the same situation. And they reminded me, your water is different. The air quality is different. I'm like, that's so true. So I started doing more protective styling to my hair. But it's like my hair, just so you guys know, my hair never grew back to be that length it was when I was a kid. But again, I was doing slick back ponytails and I was leaving my hair in the ponytails overnight, all week. I was a girl who needed this. It had to be completely slick, right? So when my hair was sopping wet, I would take gel, throw it on my hair, make it look sleek into a bun. Sorry. Sleek into a bun, really tight. And I would keep my hair like that wet and it wouldn't dry. I would go to sleep and I would keep that in for weeks. Do you know the strain, the pulling? And I found out recently, I should have known this, but you can create mildew in your head. Your hair is wet and you're not letting it properly dry. So all of the damage that I did, again, there was a time I did a keratin treatment and a color in the same day. So when I told you guys I did the chop, I needed to start fresh. Also, I reached a point with my hair. So now, mind you, my hair is natural. I haven't been doing anything to it, but I noticed I color it. The first time I colored it, and I love that look it gave, it also changed my texture. So my curls are a little bit more looser, they're not as tight. And I know a lot of us would say shrinkage is real. Now I've learned that shrinkage is a blessing. Thank you to Miss Abena who taught me that. We always say shrinkage is real. I can't wait for my hair to get here. And it's like, no, it's beautiful. It's a blessing. Like however God created your hair is a blessing. Oh Lord, there's so much of this story. I'm like, I don't want to lose where I'm at. Ah. Sorry, that noise that I heard before bothered me or something, I think from outside. I'm like, what was that? And it kind of just threw all the thoughts. But yeah, about the shrinkage and the hair and the color. So I would always do color. And recently, right before I moved, it was the new year of new beginnings, right? So my hair at this point was really healthy. It got pretty long. It's natural color. And I was like, oh, I want to get color again because my hair is too dark. I remember saying, this is just 2020. I was saying this. I'm like, oh, it's so dark. Oh my God, can you see how dark it is? I need to get my hair lighter. I remember saying these words, went light, moved. So now I'm dealing with the hair color, and you have to really make sure you're moisturizing on a whole nother level. But then I moved the water. The water, the air, all of that affected my hair. So where people would look at my hair and say, oh, it looks so pretty, I would get it to a point where I felt it looked presentable enough to like go out and about. But I wasn't happy with it. It was like nothing I was doing was helping. And you guys might have heard me say certain things in certain episodes or on my Instagram page. And I was like, I just want a fresh start. So around that time I was going to do locks, but my hair to me was so damaged. So I said, I'm just going to cut it off. And again, I didn't think that I would even do locks at this length because I always thought I would see people with locks and I said, oh, when my hair gets longer, I'll lock, not realizing like, no, start it now and watch the journey. So that's why I'm so excited to have this conversation with you guys where it is now. And then a year from now, having this conversation and seeing where it is and how God is just going to continue to grow it. Like the tree of Jonah, that was something that was taught to me. But, there was a point before I did all, the second chop, I was meeting with someone named Abena, who I talked about last episode. And she just really helped me think again about my hair differently, pray over my hair, embrace it in every season it's in, love it where it's at, not waiting for it to get here to then, and I shared all of that with you. So that was pivotal for me. And to this day, I still say that prayer daily. And I just shared it with a friend of mine when I was telling her this story. And I thank her again, because by her saying what she said about my story, just like inspired her in those few minutes, I was like, okay, I'm gonna continue to share it with you guys. And please, if you have any questions, anything specific you want to know, please comment below as you're listening to this, because I don't want you to wait to the end and then be like, oh, what was my question? So write it in, and I will be more than happy to share more on it. And yeah, I just remember I had to really love my hair. So when I told you guys that I stopped doing the weaves and stuff and I was going to embrace the hair God gave me, although I was doing that, I was still, again, waiting for it to get here to really love it. Or, oh, when it gets to this length, I'm going to love it. So that took it a step further. Like, wait, no, you have to pray over your hair. You have to love it every season. Like even now, I've heard people say, oh, you're probably not going to like your hair in every season. I say, yes, I am. I'm not claiming that. And honestly, y'all, I don't know how I can't love my hair in every season. Like if I love it short and sassy, I'm gonna love it when it gets a little bigger and a little bigger. Any season, I'm just gonna embrace it. I'm not gonna wait for that next moment. Like there's a blessing in the season that you're in, and that's what we have to stay focused on. So fast forward to the color, and then I said, you know what, I'm just gonna cut it. I met this woman again who told me that I could start my hair short. I did, and this is where I'm at now. But it took me time to get here. Even me locking my hair, I would have never thought, because people would tell me all the time, oh, you would look nice with locks. And where I thought that was true, I did the faux lock thing because I'm like, it's too permanent. What if I want to straighten it? What if I wanted this? But again, all of the things that I did with my hair, I just wanted to get to a place where my hair was just growing, it's flourishing, it's healthy. That's the main part for me. It's just healthy. I don't want long, stringy hair. And that's where I got to also on my journey. It's like, do you want your hair to be long just to be long, or you want it to be healthy? So with the color, like I mentioned, I got the color. And a few months ago, when I did the big chop, there was a little bit of color left. And for my birthday this year, I asked my stylist to please cut it off. So she gave me a silk press. She cut off all the color hair. And I was like, I just want my hair to be in its natural state. I want to learn to love and embrace my natural color, because again, now I've embraced my natural hair. I wasn't putting weave in it, but now I added color to the mix. And now if my hair was dark and it wasn't light brown, I wasn't liking my hair. And it hit me. Oh, life is a journey. And a learning lesson, like it's just amazing that even after all these years of me loving and embracing my hair, I didn't even realize that when it came to color, I was also allowing color to take over how I saw my hair. Like my hair had to be honey blonde. Now it's like, if I do color, okay, I do color, but I love my natural hair color. And I always have, but I got to a point where I started getting used to the lighter color. And that's why when my hair was darker, I'm like, why is it so dark? Oh my God, I gotta get it light. And now I'm not saying I'm never gonna color my hair, because I might, because I do like that look. And maybe there'll be a season I'll wear it light, another season I'll go back to this. But now it's in its complete natural, healthy, like my hair is healthier now than ever. When I tell y'all, I'm loving just getting up and spraying my hair and going, okay. When I tell y'all, like, I'm loving it. So yeah. If anyone wants me to share the hair prayer with them, let me know. And it just took things to a whole nother level, like praying over my hair, just nourishing my hair with love, massaging it, just showing it love. I look at my hair now so differently than I did growing up. And I'm just so beyond thankful. I'm thankful for this journey of just letting my hair do what it does. Just do you, boo. We say, do you, boo. The same thing with our hair. Just let it be. Just let what God gave you just grow and flourish, and love it in every single season that it's in. Remind yourself that you are beautiful. God made you beautiful. And don't let anyone else make you think otherwise, And, this is our crown, and we have to make sure we take care of our crown, So yeah, I'm sure there's more that I can talk about, but this is what was on my heart. So I pray that this inspired someone out there. Again, please comment below, please like, please share with your loved ones. Please hit the notification bell, because I will definitely be coming in to do more testimonies on how I'm doing this journey. And please also ideas. I would love ideas. So if there's anything you want me to do, I can't, because I thought about having an episode where you can see me getting a retie done, but I don't think with the Sister Loc brand, they really want that being shown, like the actual process of it. This is a whole culture, the Sister Loc brand. But yeah, but if you have any ideas on what I can do for future episodes, let me know. I'm definitely going to be doing the banding and showing you guys how I band and wash. Of course, giving you updates on my journey. If you guys, I know there are a lot of videos out there that are like pros and cons of Sister Locs. I can't think of any cons. So I might just have a whole video on the pros of Sister Locs. Maybe that'll be, now, there'll be some videos will be longer than others. Kind of just depends on what the topic is, but please, I'm open to ideas. Sorry. Can you tell I love them? I love them. And I love you all. And I thank you so much for tuning in. Have a beautiful and blessed rest of your day. And I will see you all next time. For God's glory. God bless.